Hi, my name is Colin Kennedy. I'd like to do my book report on The Prince of Mist by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. Here's the book. Hope you guys can actually see it. Right. I'd like to start my presentation by reading an excerpt from the book, give you an idea of how the book is written, and otherwise, let me start. Maximilian Carver hugged his son and smiled mysteriously, then pulled an object out of his jacket pocket and put it in Max's hands. It was a shiny oval that hung from a chain. A pocket watch. I made it for you. Happy birthday, Max. Max opened the silver watch. The hours on the face were marked by moons that waxed and waned to the rhythm of time, and the hands were rays of a sun radiating out from the center of the dial. On the case, engraved in a fine script, were the words, Max's Time Machine. For a second, Max wished his father's latest invention really could stop time. Yet when he raised his eyes and glanced through the window, it already seemed to him as if the light of day was receding, and the endless city of spires and domes, of chimneys weaving cobwebs of smoke across the iron skies, had started to fade. Years later, as he remembered this scene, his family wandering to and fro with their bags while he sat in a corner clutching the watch his father had given him, Max knew this was the day he left his childhood behind. This is the beginning of an adventure that will make Max and the Carver family question all that they know and start the unveiling of the mystery of The Prince of Mist. The Prince of Mist, by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, and I apologize if I'm saying his name incorrectly, is at its heart a mystery thriller. It tells the story of the Carver family, who during wartime leave the capital city behind to find peace in a small coastal town. What they discover is that the town holds many dark secrets that will force them to understand the true meaning of good and evil. The protagonist of the book is Max, the son of a watchmaker. Max, with his teenage sister Alicia, a mysterious friend from the town named Roland, and an older lighthouse attendant by the name of Victor, uncover an evil that is laid in wait and grows more powerful with each moment. The Prince of Mist. I'd like to read yet another excerpt from the book. This one involves a conversation with a young Victor and the Prince of Mist, who at this time calls himself Cain and poses as a traveling magician. "Who are you?" young Victor managed to stammer as he glanced over at the ghostly woman who had retreated into the shadows. "I'm Dr. Cain. Surely you saw the sign," Cain replied. "Having a nice time with your family?" Victor gulped and nodded. "That's good," the magician went on. "Amusement is like laudanum. It takes away all the misery and pain, even for just a short time." "I don't know what laudanum is," replied Victor. "A drug, my son. It's a drug," Cain replied wearily, turning to look at a clock resting on a shelf to his right. The hands seemed to be going backwards. "Time does not exist. That's why we mustn't lose it. Have you decided on your wish?" "I don't have a wish," Victor replied shakily. Cain burst out laughing. Come, none of us has only one wish. We have hundreds, and life doesn't grant us many chances to make them come true." Cain looked at the mysterious woman with a grimace that was meant to look like pity. "Isn't that true, dearest?" The woman didn't reply. It almost seemed as if she was made of wood and was incapable of movement. "But some are lucky, Victor," said Cain, leaning over the table. "Like you, because you can make your dreams come true. And you know how." The Prince of Mist is a tale of ghosts, magicians, shipwrecks, clowns, which personally I'm terrified of, and prophecies. At each turn of the page, a new terrifying and suspenseful mystery unfolds. At its heart, it's the tale of good versus evil, of perseverance over danger. The Prince of Mist, because of this, would be an ideal reason for high school or middle school students for an array of reasons. The foremost of these reasons is that it is just truly an enjoyable and fun book to read. I feel as though one of the biggest challenges we have as teachers is try to find literature that both relates to students and ultimately is books that they may want to actually read. I believe that the more books students read, that they enjoy, the more likely it is they'll find themselves, or at least try to find themselves, and perhaps are a little bit more difficult, or hopefully to promote the idea of a lifetime of reading. It may not be controversial or groundbreaking in terms of its content, but it is truly a hard book to put down. It was originally written in Spanish, with Zufan being from Barcelona originally, and it was originally written in Spanish and translated, so it may be ideal for world literature classes. Or an example of a mystery thriller genre. I could see perhaps making a lesson plan where you start with the literature of, say, Poe and Washington Irving, and then you use The Prince of Mist or other books like The Prince of Mist as an example of how the genre has turned contemporary. It also beats perhaps using the current vampire stories and otherwise that are out. This book, I think, has more of a literary value to it than perhaps some of those other books. Ultimately, I would recommend The Prince of Mist to people of all ages. It is not limited to young adults. The author writes in a way as to not speak down to his audience. It is a dark fantasy of sorts that has themes that apply to all ages. So I urge all of you to read and discover the mystery of The Prince of Mist. Thank you very much.